your morning with Nix. Hello. Happy, happy. Is it still Tuesday? Yeah, it's Tuesday. It's July the 7th, and the time is now 4:53 a.m. Bright and early, or not so bright, just early. How about that rain? The storms keep coming, and they keep bringing in the right type of wind. Okay, okay, okay. I've got my Chicago cut, so that is signaling that there were creatures bumping in the night. Oh boy. And that is okay as long as you guys are getting some rest, as long as the collective is getting enough rest in order to focus on the things that we need to do going forward. Have you all been able to make your vision boards, your list, and things that need to be done? Only the things that are necessary. Please, I digress. Okay? All right, so let me get ready to get into this Psalms. I didn't bring a scarf over. Let me go get one. Here we are, and today's host, someone works with bugs and pestilence. Someone does a lot of necromancy and earth manipulation. And yikes, that might have been scary growing up with all those pests that you are so familiar with the frequency of them. So you have to operate on a certain frequency in order to call in pestilence and things of that nature. So I'm giving it to God. I'm giving it to God, okay? All right. So let's get into our Psalms 39 and let's go forward. Hello, 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 and congratulations to those who are having celebrations and events. And happy birthday to those who have just had birthdays, okay? All right, there we go. Psalms 39. This is falling. Someone is definitely attempting to pull the veil over our eyes. They're attempting to hide something in plain sight or hide us. There are some people that are being hidden in the algorithm by way of people coming to spy and not hitting that like, share, and subscribe. Why are you hiding us? Why are you gatekeeping us? Are you afraid that we might get somewhere where it might be important for at least one person? Because at least one person needs this message, okay? All right, let them get it. Get out of the way. You might not want the message from a particular reader, but some others do, okay? Give them that type of grace. Taking away a person's free will can kind of be not so nice, especially when it happens to you finally. See, what goes around comes back around. So you got to remember when you put your hands into things, you can't be clutching your pearls at things that you already know of, all right? That's one of the things we have to change our perspective on. Stop getting mad at things you already know and figure out what the solution is, okay? All right. As I said, Psalms 39. I said, I will take heed to my ways, that I sin not with my tongue. I will keep my mouth with a bridle while the wicked is before me. I was dumb with silence. I held my peace even from good, and my sorrow was stirred. My heart was hot within me while I was musing, the fire burned. Then spake I with my tongue. Lord, make me to know mine end, and the measure of my days, what it is, that I may know how frail I am. Behold, thou hast made my days as an handbreadth, and mine age is as nothing before thee. Verily, every man at his best state is altogether vanity. Selah. Surely every man walketh in vain. Surely they are disquieted in vain. He heapeth up riches, and knoweth not who shall gather them. And now, Lord, what wait I for? My hope is in thee. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Make me not the reproach of the foolish. I was dumb. I opened not my mouth, because thou didst it. Remove thy stroke away from me. I am consumed by the blow of thine hand. When thou with rebukes doest correct man for iniquity, Thou makest his beauty to consume away like a moth. Surely every man is vanity, Selah. Hear my prayer, O Lord, and give ear unto my cry. Hold not thy peace at my tears, for I am a stranger with thee, and a sojourner, as all my fathers were. O spare me, that I may recover strength before I go hence, and be no more. Selah, so be it, so let it be. That was Psalms 39. Seems like the preoccupation today is with my speech. Someone does not want me to speak as confidently as I speak. But what's new? I've been dealing with that all my life. People have a certain perspective. They look at me and they say, oh, I know. She's just going to be all looks and she's not going to have much to say. Even if she says something, it'll be something practiced and something from something somewhere else. Well, that seems to change the perspective once a person actually stops looking at me and starts to listen to what I have to say. It's quite different. They'll find out that I lose myself in books quite often, not in episodes. I always seem to have something that's going to get us to the North Node. It's quite an investment to be involved in self-aware in one's life. Just as quite as an investment as to know which meat, which cut, and which knife. You understand? It's something you have to master. It's nothing you get from man. It's something you have to go within in order to go without. It's something that you can't really get from a pout, either a shout. You have to understand when you start to learn is when you also have the ability to take nothing and earn. End scene. That was from the hip. That was me just freestyling on some insights on myself and my relativity to my circumstance. Is. I guess I had to make it plural. You see, sometimes I see people make things plural that don't quite go with the S. That's like saying cactuses. It's supposed to be cacti. It's like saying mines when it's really just yours. But it's mine. But it all goes with perspective. If I'm speaking the lingo and I'm speaking the Ebonics and I'm speaking the native language, I guess it goes. But when I go to other places, I have to code switch. That doesn't make me fake. That makes me remove the communication barriers that might come about. However, I feel as though some people get a little angry when some people are a lot more fluid than they happen to be. It's called self-awareness. It's called reading the room. It's called knowing who you're talking to and what you really want them to understand. When you take those things in consideration and you come across people who have not had that privilege or have not taken that type of time for themselves, they tend to be angry. I realize a lot of people get upset when I say cutlery and utensil. It makes me laugh a lot. I always look for a reaction when I use certain words because you can tell the box a person premeditatively put you in when they react to exactly what you said or the look you gave in response because they've never seen a person respond that way. What's so different about you? Huh? But that is a skill that comes with self-awareness. If we're always projecting our attention outside of ourselves, how will you take account of what you're doing? Did you notice that you slouch? Did you notice that you might be creating a hunch in your back by the way you hold your neck? Did you notice your posture when you walk? Do you understand your gait? Does it look like someone is pushing you? Or are you just laying back? It all depends, and that's body language too. You got to think about communication. Communication is had in so many ways. Words, that's primitive. Don't ask me. Take account of your own environment. Okay, that was the first bit, and I believe I dropped a lot of gems in that. For that to have gone over your head, you might have been sitting down. Boy, it takes a special, certain kind of group. I'm glad that you can join me with this neurological trip, right? Because you'd have to be happy with words. You have to be satisfied and you have to revere them quite well. And know that it's not always worth it to address things or say things, really. What a thought. Mocha. Mocha. Chocolate. Deep, dark, bitter chocolate. It took me a while to realize that bitter chocolate was healthy, the antioxidants. But how bitter does the chocolate have to be? What a good sip. The older you get, the more you understand. Every cup is not the cup that you could sip out of. Every cup doesn't have a good sip. It really depends on the weight of the cup and the ledge. If the ledge is too thick, it'll take too long for the liquid to come over. And then you don't quite get the hotness that you want. But if it's too thin, then it's going to scald your tongue. It's going to scald your lips. And then that's not going to be a good sip. So that's where self-awareness comes from. You'll be able to identify the perfect sip. One must practice one's self-awareness at all times. Not just when you want to, not just when people are looking. It helps. It helps to take account. It does. It does. It does. I saw a situation yesterday and where I got a chance to see a whole picture, a picture in which I don't think anyone knew they were painting for me. But me, myself, I live in betwixt things. I see reality, I see the imagination, and I also see the thing that lies in between. So as I was reading what I was reading, even though no one knew that they were actually writing a story for me, I began to see the end game of things, and I began to see each level. It's as though I was able to see the three bears going for Goldilocks. And I was able to identify the baby bear, the mama bear, and the papa bear. And it was very interesting seeing how they all thought about Goldilocks. For the baby bear, Goldilocks was a potential. Goldilocks was something that he might have been able to identify with because he was almost as small as Goldilocks, but not the same. So he did understand that there was something that was very different about Goldie. But when Mama came to the thing, she understood that this was something that she had never nourished before and didn't plan on nourishing. In fact, this was something that was supposed to nourish her. But how did she get Baby Bear to understand that that is not the friend, that is in fact the food, and don't play with your food? But then you have Papa Bear, who knows he's come to devour, and he's not about to explain that to Mama Bear or Baby Bear. But he still has to convince them to get out of the way because, hey, he tells himself he gets the biggest piece of the meat. So, understanding the three bears and Goldilocks and her relativity, she's got three perspectives to understand. Maybe she can get Baby Bear to help or stand in the way as she gets away. Maybe, just maybe, only because of the size and the fact that he's a bit innocent and hasn't gotten at least that far down into the bloodthirst of the adults. But then she has to think about the maternity of the mother and realize that she's going to protect her little baby bear, especially if she sees the baby bear trying to protect what's supposed to be the food. So she's got two things to do. She has to not alienate the child, and she still has to go forward with nourishing and food. Plus, she doesn't want to get in the way of Papa Bear because he's surely coming. But then Goldilocks has to realize that Papa Bear is coming no matter what. So, as she still has to consider the innocence of the baby bear, she also has to consider how Mama Bear is going to interact depending on who's coming at her, whether it's Papa Bear or the baby bear. So, you see, it becomes a very different animal when you think about the fact that you're dealing with three levels of the same species. Yep. I don't think I have to go that far into it because we do understand. We do understand the circle of life. We do understand the food chain. We do understand at some point Goldilocks probably had to become an apex, right? Because she was forced into that situation. In all the situations, she can consider all three perspectives, but what she can consider is that she's food no matter what. Even if Baby Bear is innocent, he'll still eat it if she can't talk. And even if though Mama Bear is the mama and she's still looking before between the mom, the baby and the father, she's still food. And for Dad, it's straight like that. She's still food. So what if she just forgets the fact that she has to, consider perspective going forward while she gets to a knife? At the end of the day, it's either she or he. So either you could stew fast or protect yourself. And that all depends on the war that you're fighting, the animal that you're fighting. Of course, you have to consider the facts, but you also have to consider yourself. And you have to make it out. Is it you or is it them? And those are the things that you really need to consider on top of all other things. All right? It's a dog eat dog world. Which one are you going to be? All right, so I've got the ethereal deck down, and we're going to go through the 12 zodiacs this morning. It is 5:10, so hopefully you're ready. We're going to do the 3-card normal. If anyone needs extra, I will know it because the cards will show it. Okay, all right. And let me pull out this extra deck just for guidance. It's good to know when you need guidance. Specifically, it's good to know when to call on it. It's good to know when you don't know everything and you may need to do some research. The worst thing you can do is go wholeheartedly into something without ever doing research. Those things can come back on you. 8-3, that was good to see in the morning. That was a good confirmation. 11 is always a good number to see in the morning. Intuitive, highly intuitive. All right, so we've got Judgment coming straight out, Wheel of Fortune, and the 2 of Wands. Yee! What's up with that this morning? Judgment, judgment, judgment. That is usually the moon, isn't it? Judgment. So that is 20. Judgment is 20. Embrace your inner calling. You are all set to take your life to the next level, transforming yourself, listening to your inner calling. So what does your inner self say to you? That is Pluto energy. What does your inner self say to you? Then we've got the Wheel of Fortune. All 3 major arcana, which is great, but what's up with you guys? Well, it's one is the 2 of Wands, so that's the only one. So the Wheel of Fortune is the 10, right? So we've got 20 and 10, which took us to the 30 right away. And the Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter. Welcome and change, having good luck. So there is a lot of change and good luck coming. And now we get to the 2 of Wands. So we are starting in Aries this morning. The 2 of Wands, come out of your comfort zone to explore new territories. It is time to test your knowledge and to validate your decisions. Okay, now, Aries season, Aries, sun, moon rising, Mars. We are now in two retrogrades. We are in a Jupiter retrograde and we're also in a Mercury retrograde. So please be aware of your feelings, take notes, keep a journal. Listen to your mind, your body, and your soul. Those gentle nudges are way more important than those very harsh pushes. Those harsh pushes might be God trying to warn you before destruction. There's always warning before destruction, so please take heed. All right, so with the Two of Wands, discovering new paths and planning your future. There will be some people that need to find a new job, find a new way of life, find a new hustle. Because, hey, if you've been doing something for over 5 to 10 years and it's not working, it's not working. You need to find something else to do. Some people do things for a long time because they feel as though they've mastered it. But once you master something, it's pretty well thought of to go and master the next level. Why would you stay at entry level when you've been there for 30 years? Get out of the way. The kids are coming. Okay? I've always said that it's good to be able to get into an entry level job no matter what age you are. But at a certain time, it's time for you to move on because if you are a role model to the youth, you're telling them that stagnation and complacency is okay as long as you're earning a few pennies. But the thing is, you're supposed to be showing them evolution in real time. If you are not upping your skills at certain intervals of life, you are now stagnating the generations behind you because you got to get out of the way. Now, I understand that some people they have to start from certain levels, they have to start over. Some people are just being re-entered into society. Some people are just trying to keep up because they don't want to lose the skills that they have. Those people, they get all my respect for at least being able to face the fact that they have to start over or they have to start from somewhere. But those I give kudos to. But for the others who basically they think it's a brag to be in an entry level position for 10, 20, 30 years. While I get your consistency and I understand you make the best potluck dish at the office, we do want to see more. We want to see you grow. Your kids want to see you grow. A lot of the kids do not want to come out and work or do anything is because they've seen way more of us get stagnated by doing the same thing over and over again and saying that we are committing change. We are not. We're just committing the same thing over and over again and telling ourselves because we can retain that level of thing that's successful. While it is successful to have perfect attendance, it is even more successful to have a level up. It is more successful to affect change in a way in which you did master this level and now you can go up to the next level. And that right there signifies by default to the ones coming behind you that yes, the sky is not the limit. There is more after this level. So you can't really get too upset with some of the youth when they are discouraged by the role models in which they've had to see. They've seen people do things for 20, 30, and 40 years, and when they finally got retired or whatever, they decide they fell by the wayside. They fell off. They didn't create anything. They didn't go to a next level. They actually stayed there, and some of them digress. Some people demoted themselves in life because they told themselves they were done working, they were done creating, and they didn't want to go to anyone's job. Well, the upgrade from saying you don't want to go to anyone's job is to create an opportunity for yourself doing something else. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to go and be a multi-millionaire all because you decided to be an entrepreneur, but the satisfaction is in being able to control your 24/7. Some people want to control their 24/7, making oodles and oodles of money, but you have to understand the give and take of that. The more money you make, the more responsibility, the more you have to delegate, the more that you're still going to be working even if you're off the clock. So please understand that the thing that you're asking for, you also have to understand that there are things that come with it. Now, for the retiree who's basically gotten their nest egg and they have their bit of land and they have their children and they're teaching their children, they're making sure that their land is upkept, they're finding ways to spend less money while keeping more, they're saving. That is something that you could do satisfactory, right? You could do that. But also you can give yourself a little side hustle. I remember There used to be some elder women in the neighborhoods that sold freezy cups. They sold freezy cups. They did little penny caddies. They did little things. No, it didn't make them rich, but what it did was it sustained them and it gave them the ability to not have to beg. You understand? It gave them the ability to not have to get up and have to work on someone else's schedule. So it's not that I'm saying that every entrepreneur is going to end up falling by the wayside. What I'm saying is we should at least try to live a little bit more of our lives and not let life happen to us. That's what I'm saying. When you get onto these jobs and you don't become the supervisor, or you don't end up creating something for yourself, or you don't end up trying to invest and become a shareholder of the business, you know what I'm saying, get more active in the next level, you hold yourself back, and that by way is an example to the next generation to either hold themselves back, get discouraged, or not respect the fact that you have no motion or no movement. Now, the kids are really quick with that. They will disrespect the hell out of you if you have no motion and no movement or no perceived motion or movement. And then in some cases, you might get some young kids that are haters. Now, that's inherited. Now, if you got a baby mother or a baby father, or you have families that are haters, they'll hate around your kid and your kid will inherit the hate gene, okay? So you have to understand some of our kids are not here for the long run. They're here for us to raise, they're here for us to learn a lesson, and they're here for us to just move on, right? That does not mean neglect your kid, that does not mean abandon. That means do your job. Do your best not to be the parent that the child has to heal from, and keep it pushing. Know that you might do your best and your kid might end up the worst. But that is not for you to control. Everyone has free will. What you can do to save yourself and your complexion is go drink water and mind your business. Okay? Because the child is yours for a time and you give them back to the Lord and let the Lord deal with it. So surrender. Okay? I definitely did. Once I realized that I had a messy one that wanted to make everyone basically be at odds with me because he could get with that, I realized, especially when I found out that he was selling my clothes, specifically my personal clothes that I would try to throw away. And when I found a whole treasure trove of it, I was like, something wrong here. I can't deal with this shit. So when I realized that that was the secret mole, just pipping out my underwears. I mean, really, I was like, when I saw the whole length of it, I was like, wow, this is why these things. And then the people were weird that were paying for it. The people were weird that was like coming around collecting my trash. It was weird. But then to hear that this same person that I basically formed in fashion through fire and water decided that they were just going to take my reputation and set a match to it all over a couple of dollars, I was like, well, damn. But knowing is half the damn problem. And now that you know, there goes part of the solution. So, with the Aries energy, try something new. Don't be afraid to stand out there. We are all under judgment. Yes, even us collective. We're all under judgment. What are you going to do? Now that you know you're surrounded by agents, now that you know that you're surrounded by people that have dual nature and they can do pretty much what they want to do. Everybody has a free will. What are you willing to do to make sure that you sail onto calmer waters, that you keep focused, that you are going to keep showing up for yourself, right? Despite what people say, despite the evil eye, despite all the things that people try to do, what are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and watch them back, or are you going to get up and make some moves? Okay? So, this is challenging you today, Aries, on the Wheel of Fortune, to get up and go and do the things that you're supposed to do to sustain you. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Okay? So, discovering new paths, that was the Two of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune was, excuse me, 10. And the Judgment was 20. So, that brought us to 32, which is 5. Unexpected changes, life paths. No, unexpected changes always comes. Some of us were born to be Ferris Bueller. And you got to think about Ferris Bueller a bit. I'm going into Taurus now. You got to think about Ferris Bueller a bit. Even though he was a great kid by all accounts. The only thing that was different about Ferris, he was popular for the amount of chaos, for the amount of attention that he commanded. And it's not that he was a bad kid, he was just a popular kid that had a penchant to think out of the box. Very smart. And guess who his hater was? His very own sister. She always, it was like a cross between Dexter's Laboratory and Phineas and Ferb. Our first Phineas and Ferb in Dexter's Laboratory was Ferris Bueller and his sister. She hated the fact that he just got away with her perceived murder, but really, she could have minded her business, really, honestly. And that's a lot of lesson that a lot of people are starting to learn. Mind your business. Mind your funky business. Leave us alone. When you see us, leave us alone. I understand that when you see us, it makes you want to know, what are they doing? What are they up to? Why are they smiling? But really, if you were up to something and you were smiling, you wouldn't be in my business. Now, would you be? And it's not that we always need you to mind your business, because, hey, we came here so that we could congregate, so that we can have a meeting of the minds. But if I'm understanding that me and you having a meeting of the minds is going to lead to you despising me a few conversations later, I don't really want your attention now, would I? And those are things for people to think about. Some people are so, I guess, removed from reality that they forget that the same person that they don't like has the same possibility of not liking them either. They take so many things for granted. You think just because 10 of your family members tell you that they like you, that they really do? Or do you think that they just not telling you because they don't want to hear your mouth, or you got a lot of chaos with you? Some of you guys are exhausting. I've never talked to you a day in my life, but I can see it in your body movements. And it makes me want to take a nap. Yeah. So some of you guys really need to go back into reality and realize the same opportunity you took for a person not to like you, well, no, you took to not like a person, is the same opportunity you gave for a person not to like you. And you need to understand that. And some of your family don't tell you they don't like you either. It's just that they keep saying this blood is thicker than water thing, which is a lie. It is a lie, because guess what? They got water thickeners. You can make it honey thick. I don't know if you know this, but there's a solution to every problem. Okay, so now we got the Six of Cups, death and transformation in the Four of Pentacles. That's pretty easy. The Six of Cups in the Four, that's 10 plus 13. That is 23. Okay. All right. So that's another 5. That's the second 5 for this morning. So that's Gemini and Taurus. That's the second 5 this morning. And we are in a Taurus reading. So Six of Cups, death and transformation. Four of Pentacles. So somebody's give and take to the universe. Somebody's, I guess, bribes, payments, whatever this is coming to an end. Someone's going to have to start managing their money themselves, because they didn't get what they thought they were going to get. This is in Taurus. This is also unexpected change. This is the unexpected change. Someone's money flow is about to change, slow down, or stop, depending on who you are. Sun, Moon, Rising. Six of Cups is usually a Gemini energy. Let me make sure. Okay, Six of Cups. Yeah, somebody's money is slowing down. Past is an active archive of wisdom, intelligence, and happiness to connect with your inner self and enjoy a happier present. Sun, Scorpio, Being generous, feeling nostalgic, leaving home, resolving childhood issues. So this is what's happening. Someone needs to resolve childhood issues. They have to get off the titty, get out the house, jump off the porch. It is time for you to now liberate yourself and push away from things that make you feel so comforted that you become complacent. Okay, so someone is being pushed off, shoved off into the wilderness because hey, when they were at the house, they didn't like the house, so now they gotta go set sail. And it is what it is. When you do grown things, prepare to be treated as an adult. Okay? So this is what's happening. Someone's coming out of the coddling stage and they're going straight into adulthood in the wilderness, where I say it is. Because once you get to the point where people don't look at you as a young girl, people don't look at you as a dependent anymore. They don't look at you as their little boobala, their little tot, their little tater tot. They don't look at you as a person that needs to be comforted. That's when things get real. And you understand, I'm an adult now. Everything that happens from here on out, I'm going to have to make happen. And a lot of you have been so coddled by your family members, by your friends, by people willing to let you cry wolf, that you don't understand that there's going to be a day where them tears come and nobody's going to be moved. Where you're going to have a tantrum and people's going to turn their back on that tantrum, because what give you a right to keep continuing with the tantrums when I gotta pull up my damn panty drawers and keep it moving, right? So somebody's about to find out what it really is to put on your big boy drawers, to put on your big girl drawers, because everybody throughout their life do not have to placate you. That was a nicety. That was hospitality at best, okay? At some point, you're going to have to jump off the cliff and do your own hang gliding, all right? You're not going to have anyone else's air. Because you are the wind beneath my wings. We don't have those anymore. Y'all don't play Bette Midler. Y'all let Clive Davis do what he did, all right? We don't have Whitney no more. We have this other music, okay? We have this other stuff that's going on right now. So, yeah, the inspiration is going to have to come from self until we repair what we've got going on. And a lot of people are going to be very upset that no matter whether they had support or not, you still got to wear your own social security number. That's still just your name. You're still the person on the dotted line. You're the only one with those fingerprints. You're the only one, okay? So even though you might have a group saying, yeah, it's us, we're going to ride or die, we all together, we're going to do this. Trust me, when it come down to getting in trouble and having to pay the piper, you're by yourself. You're on your own. And that's what it is. Okay? So, like I said, the Six of Cups, Death, Four of Pentacles, that all goes 6, 4, 10, 13, 23, 5. There we go. Boom. That was your Taurus reading. Morning, Owich. Good morning. What you want for breakfast? You coming straight for the snacks? Huh? I guess we'll go backwards this time. I didn't buy any salt yesterday. Here. What else you want? That's what you want? Okay. I got you. You want the tea? You want your water? Hold up. Here. Okay. All right. Boom. Woo. All right, Gemini, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Keep calling me, talk about stuff I don't want to hear. Nobody want it. Ain't nobody come here to see you, Otis. Nobody. Three of Cups. Eight of Wands. That's 11. Love it. Two of Cups. Okay. 13. So the death and transformation has showed up again. Three of Cups, Eight of Wands, Two of Cups. Let's read the book. Three of Cups. Do not hesitate to ask your family for support. You need their trust and support to achieve all you want. Mercury in Cancer. Okay, Cancer is definitely going through two retrogrades. It's going through Mercury retrograde and Jupiter. So things are going to be really tumultuous when it comes to family relations, when it comes to communication. Some of us are discommunicated, excommunicado, and that works well for us. Some of us too much communication with our families, and they push us and pull us so many different ways that we're not allowed to show up for ourselves in any given way. Now that looks like always having to be called, always being called away from yourself, always being called to some type of situation or emergency. Now I always find it funny when a person never calls you for the party, never calls you for the cookout, never calls you for the turn up, but they always call you when somebody's dying, when their limbs are broke, when there's an emergency. I say do what you want as your suggestion, but for me, I'm going to turn the other way. Call those people you was partying with. Leave me out of it. I was out of the good time, so I'm damn sure going to exclude myself from the bad time. We ain't got time for that. Mm-mm. So that's what that is. Three of Cups. So be mindful. Some people, their family is chaotic. And that's how they get along. They gaslight each other. They disrespect each other. It's like a whole thing that they do. And that's natural to them. If that's what people want to do, you have to let them. It is not for you to judge. However, if that's not the type of thing you like, you need to take yourself away out of it, because those type of people, if they don't mind eating each other up, you definitely gonna get ate up like gunk, 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 gunk. So remember, don't get yourself ate up by people who don't like themselves, especially people who travel to be together to abuse each other emotionally and verbally, mentally and financially. You over somebody else's house talk about, yeah, they think they all that. Then when you get over my house, you got something to eat. You got something to drink. You got something to something. You got something to something. I'm sorry, but I don't need that much company. Matter of fact, I was cool for you came over. Matter of fact, can you go home, please? Some of you don't like to be alone, so you take the company of anyone, and that's a thing to be studied. I mean, I'm saying, I could do better all by myself. Why did you come over here breathing on me, taking up my space, eating up my food, and then you go somewhere and say, well, it was nasty. Well, I didn't like it. All because you want to see somebody else smile who probably don't like you either. So it's like, you got to realize that there's a lot of duality in people. And some people are only talking because they want a reaction out of you, or they want to separate you from something, or they want you to be drawn into something you have no business in. So beware of people's motives when they're talking, and when they're interacting. Be careful of who all over there, and be careful of people bringing tag-alongs. They might have brought that tag-along to watch you as they try to destroy you. So be aware of the humiliation ritual that is families, folks, and friends in different environments. Okay, so this is your Gemini reading with the eight of wands. So that was the communication that I was saying. Beware of duality and beware of the cups. Some people want you to drink out of that light, and some people want you to drink out of that dark. You won't know the difference unless you use discernment. Okay, so the 3 plus the 2 was 5 plus 8. That's 13 all day long. And that can definitely either hurt your foundation or build your foundation up. It all depends on your perspective and how you take this information. All right, that was the Gemini reading, Sun, Moon, Rising. Let me make sure I pull out the actual signs. The 3 of Cups is Cancer. That's Mercury. The 8 of Wands is Sagittarius, that's Mercury. So things are really crazy when it comes to communication. Some people might just misunderstand you on purpose, or they really don't comprehend. Look at their eyes. You could tell. If they give you a kind of vacant look, they might not get exactly what you're saying. But if they give you a dismissive look, it didn't matter what you said anyway. They plan to misunderstand you. Okay? So the Eight of Wands is Sagittarius, and the Two of Cups is. Dun, 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 dun. There's a hater in my midst, and I can feel it. Okay, Venus Cancer. Finding love, mutual. That's the Two of Cups. Overcoming rejection, finding balance. Okay, so you're gonna have to overcome the rejection of others and the balance of some other situations, and that is Cancer. So we had Cancer, Sagittarius, and Cancer. So it's double Cancer. So there's a lot of emotion. And you know, for some reason, I'm telling you, Cancer likes to see suffering. It's like they don't believe that you love them unless they could see some type of painful reaction to you. I don't know why. It's like they have to draw out some kind of extreme emotion before they're convinced that you give a damn. And by the time they get that reaction out of some people, you don't give a damn. Hard pill to swallow. I can tell by when my screen glitches, I just pissed off some crybaby Cancer somewhere who feels as though they're a thug. One way, okay? One way. All right, so let's get into Cancer. That was the Gemini reading. Let's go over to Cancer. There's a Cancer Gemini cusp here. Their energy is really, really strong. How you going to be strong and a crybaby at the same time? You're the type that try to make people cry and then get upset when you get all teary-eyed. And then you want to get mad and get revenge. But it's your fault. It's your fault. Boy, never try to understand the Cancer. That is one way to break your own brain. Okay, the Lovers and the Eight of Pentacles. That's Gemini energy. And the Eight of Pentacles is, I think that's Virgo energy. If I'm not mistaken, that's Virgo. That's in betwixt things. I haven't gone over to Cancer yet. Eight of Pentacles. Yep, that's Virgo energy. Yep, accepting imperfections, focusing on productive activities. Okay, so that's going to be the best thing for you to do as a lover. The best thing for lovers is to have productive activities so you don't burn out your lover. It's nothing worse than a lover don't got nothing else to do but be in your face. That is sometimes annoying. I know there are some people who are just hopeless romantics and they like that broke shit. They like that stalker shit. They like it. They like to just be in somebody's face 24/7. That is not productive unless we are doing business together, but then eventually that gets a little tiring. I remember I went somewhere to have my car serviced and his wife was too much in the business. I wasn't trying to get with him. It's just the simple fact of the matter is, if you're going to be upset at every attractive woman that have a couple of dollars to pay for their own thing, you need to stay your ass out of the office because you're going to mess up the money for everybody. And you can't fight every attractive woman that comes to the business. And that man actually is a damn jellyback if he allows you to attack his business like that. Because how is we really getting money and you messing up my reputation? You don't know who any of these women are that are coming in here that you keep trying to fight. So how are we supposed to make money and avoid lawsuits if you can act a monkey all because you feel a little insecure at somebody's hips, curves, lack thereof, or whatever? Some of you guys are not good business partners. You're not good romantic partners either. But you all have holes, and that's the common denominator. All right, so Cancer, let me get with this. Some of you guys, y'all mess up the bag. Y'all be messing up the church's money, but you always want to be there. Can't nobody pass the plate when you want to count it every time. When you want to be inspecting every plate that come by, but you want to eat. That's definitely going to encourage somebody to put a little in your cup, okay? All right. Okay, so let's get this Cancer reading over with. We got the Page of Swords. We got the Nine of Pentacles. And we've got the Six of Cups. Page 96. 9669. Might be an age, might be a year. Might be something else. Cancer energy. But yeah, this is the Cancer reading. Cancer energy, definitely. 6-9 God, you're a 69 God. If you ever look at the Cancer, when you turn it a different way, it looks just like 69. And then when you turn it the other way, it looks just like 96. Okay, so Cancer, 69 God, this is your reading. Page of Swords, 9 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. Page of Swords. Where are the swords? Okay. Page of Swords is... Okay. Expressing yourself more, overcoming procrastination. That's Earth and Air. Earth being Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Air being Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Making plans, having a thirst for knowledge. So someone's definitely either being nosy, making plans, or surveilling something. They're studying something. 9 of Pentacles. Finding abundance, being self-sufficient, avoiding overindulgence, overcoming lack of self-worth. So somebody's trying to learn how to find abundance for themselves. Someone is trying to be self-reliant. They're trying to make their own way in life. That's a good thing. Venus and Virgo, that's the 9 of Pentacles. And the Page of Swords was... that's just the earth and air element. So the 9 of Pentacles is Virgo, Venus. And the 6 of Cups is Mercury and Scorpio. No, Sun and Scorpio. Being generous, feeling nostalgic, leaving home, resolving childhood. So someone has deep issues when it comes to money and taking care of themselves. Someone is definitely going to have to work hard at becoming self-sufficient. It's different when you always have people giving to you. But if there should ever be a situation where you're set apart, are you able to sustain yourself? And that is the real rite of passage. A lot of you are not grown. Until you actually learn how to sustain yourself, how to feed yourself, how to clothe yourself, how to house yourself, how to gain transportation or whatever, until you learn how to actually go from point A to point B without the call of another man or woman, you actually can't really say that you've done the whole entire thing of work. You have to be able to self-sustain without the assistance of others. To say that you are good and you haven't ever yet done that, you haven't moved in the right spaces, okay? So there's a Cancer or a Cancerian energy that definitely needs to have that lesson. Some people are learning this really too late at life, that they've been coddled, they've been sheltered, because if they should ever have to depend on themselves, they will not survive. They will not survive. Yep. So I don't know who that resonates with. Learning how to self-sustain is going to be a big thing. Somebody's foundation was not built on sustaining themselves, and they're going to have a very hard lesson. You live long enough, that's the lesson you will learn. Okay, let's keep going. Leo. I spent some time on that. Okay. And we got the Queen of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords, and the 8 of Cups. Let's go. Let's go. Queen of Pentacles. Let's see what she has in store for us today. I always lose it. Okay, the Queen of Pentacles. Besides your motherly attributes, you also excel in leading projects and executing plans successfully. That's waters, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, and Earth, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. Living in luxury, comforting others, being selfless, being more tolerant. Queen of Pentacles is definitely that. Even in the reverse, she's still a very nurturing person. So let's see what's happening in Leo. Seven of Swords. That is Aquarius and Moon. That is more matriarch. That is Aquarius, being resourceful, admitting betrayal. So someone needs to admit. Ooh, somebody don't want me to say that. Somebody don't like apologizing. Somebody don't like correction. Being resourceful, admitting any betrayal, overcoming maliciousness, confessing to any wrongdoing. We know that ain't about to happen. Um, Somebody a snake. This is a Leo reading. Somebody have a tendency, they are nourishing. They do give to people, but they give to people with intentions on getting back. So it's not really all that reciprocal. So what's happening here is somebody got a lot of betrayal under it. They got a lot of skeletons in their closet. Okay, if somebody has a lot of secrets, a lot of skeletons in their closet, and they pretend to be this wonderful, nurturing, feminine energy, but they're not. Underneath, it's a lot of betrayal, a lot of suspect energy. Okay, this is the Moon in Aquarius, and the Eight of Cups is Saturn and Pisces. So this is what? Aquarius Pisces cusp. There's a dangerous Aquarius Pisces cusp. Ooh, they don't want me to say this. Ooh. Releasing emotions, finding grounding. They're definitely delulu, because it takes a certain amount of delusion in order to be this angry, this upset, this much betrayal, and that many lies and that many skeletons. The stress of holding that many secrets, the stress of holding that many lies can definitely make a person become ungrounded within themselves, even if you don't see it outwardly. Yeah, this person is definitely detached from all emotion and all reality. The only reality that matters at this point is the reality that they benefit from. Okay, so that's releasing emotions, finding grounding, dealing with monotony, embracing change. Someone has a very, very hard time embracing changes that come. So the Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, 7 plus 8, that is a 15. So somebody is obsessed with creating their own illusions, their own reality. And if you don't get down, they will try to make you lay down. Trust me. Okay, so this is the Leo reading with Aquarius Pisces cusp. This means this person has a lot of bravado. They like to show off, but they ain't telling nobody how many skeletons is up in that closet. All right, so that is what that reading was. That was Leo, Pisces, Aquarius. Take what resonates, Sun, Moon, Rising. Okay, let's keep going. We are in Virgo now. The last one is going to be Pisces. We started off in Aries. Okay. Virgo. 3 of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, 4 of Swords. 3, 3, 4. 3, 3, 4. 4, 4, 3. No, it's just 3, 3, 4. Okay, 43. Somebody 34 or 43. That's bringing me to a 7. Plus 3. That's bringing me to a 10, which is wish fulfillment. Let's go in. 3 of Wands. You and the energy, I say it. That's it. You have created a firm foundation for yourself. Now it is the time to plan for a secure future. Sun and Aries, moving forward, commitment to the future, unexpected turns, overcoming creative blocks. Okay, this is you. Unexpected changes. Be aware of unexpected changes. Try to be able to pivot. Adjusting and being adaptable is going to be your strongest suit going forward. 3 of Pentacles. I don't expect you to lock into any result, because you can definitely, that will definitely set you up to be disappointed by any outcome. So definitely adapt to change. To accomplish success, expertise and mastery of skills are required. Your hard work and dedication have created a firm foundation for your success. This is the 3 of Pentacles going off from the 3 of Wands. Not much difference, right? Okay, we got Mars and Capricorn. Collaborating with others, dedication to work, strengthening discipline, developing determination. Everybody is not your enemy, just like everybody is not your friend. But business has to still go on. You have to actually deal with some people in business. Just use discernment on how much business to deal. Okay? All right. Now we've got the 4 of Swords. which is definitely about that mental communication. Do not overwhelm yourself with tasks. Take time to sit and relax. That is Jupiter in Libra. Remember, we are having a Jupiter retrograde at the same time as Mercury. So your rest might not be the rest everybody else gets. Your rest might look like exercise. Your rest might look like you're doing some things around the home. You rest the way you need to rest. Sometimes you do need to sleep. Sometimes you do need a nap. Sometimes you just want to sun gaze a little bit or take a walk. All in all, remember never to overextend yourself. Do things that replenish and restore you as you attempt to go forward and elevate yourself, right? Because this is what you want to do, and you need all your energy back to you in order to do that. Now it's time for you to create a secure foundation and secure your future. That is wish fulfillment, is to have a secure and safe future without worrying about someone coming over and tumbling all your dominoes or your blocks, right? Okay, so build it firmly and not in a way of in a Jenga puzzle, okay? You know how people like to poke holes? If you have a firm foundation, you won't be wavering all over the place every time someone attempts to approach your stratosphere. That part. Okay. So, like I said, that is wish fulfillment for someone to have a sturdy environment. That is Virgo's reading. There you go. Sun, moon, rising. Take what resonates. Hold up. Did I call did I? The Three of Pentacles, the Three of Wands. And I didn't. My bad, y'all. I might have did, but let me go back anyway. It was Aries in the Virgo reading. It was, I would skip to that. It was Capricorn. No, it wasn't. That was the Three of Wands. That was the, okay, it was Capricorn, Aries, Capricorn, and this book ain't that big, but I swear every time I turn it, it seemed like it is. And Libra. So it was Aries, Capricorn, and Libra in this Virgo reading. Take what resonates, Sun, Moon, Rising. Okay, let's get over to the Libra reading. It's funny how one reading always leads into the other one. I don't think that's a coincidence. That means there's a lot of people connected. There's a lot of signs connected by one thing or another. Knight of Wands, Knight of Cups, Six of Wands. Okay? Knight of Wands. That's fire, fire. That's Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Being passionate, energetic, being adventurous, being less arrogant, dealing with frustration. This came out. Let's see what the Knight of Cups is. That's fire and water. There's a lot of fire. So there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of virility. There's a lot of ambition. Okay, embrace your love and trust your partner the most. You can create your heaven if you apply yourself fully at this moment. This is the Libra reading. Showing charm, feeling idealistic, dealing with a disappointment, connecting to intuition. So someone definitely is they're trying to control their passion, and they're really, really trying to be realistic, but they're having a hard time connecting to reality. So someone is definitely lovesick, delusional, and they're having a little issue with control. I don't know what to say about that. So the Six of Wands is coming up after that. That's the only number. And that's saying Jupiter, Leo, so things are going a little crazy at this point in time. And that's the Leo energy. And that's saying overcoming failure, resolving setbacks, basking in victory, acknowledging fame and pride. So someone, I know this. Okay, so someone's definitely overcoming failure, resolving setbacks, while they get over being lovesick or looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for nub. All right, so that was the Libra reading. And yeah, I see Leo and a lot of fire. A lot of fire and emotion. That's not good to be that passionate and not have that much emotion. So somebody's a real prick when it comes to love. And they got to overcome these setbacks because all their setbacks is based on romantic adventures. So somebody need to learn to stay out of the bed and stay in their head. All right, there you go. That was Libra. Let me get on out of that low ball energy. That was the clearest wreck all the way. It just somebody a male prostitute. So that's what it was saying basically. Whatever they do, everything they do when it comes to being in connection to anyone else, it's about getting money. They don't really have any, they don't have a heart, or they don't have the emotional intelligence it takes to be normal or have normal interactions. So everything at this point is weird, awkward, and what they call it? Exchange. Everything is transactional. That's the word I was looking for. There you go. All right, Scorpio, let's get this over with. Okay, 3 of Cups, Page of Wands, and 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so we got a 10. 3 of Cups is, that's that having celebration, strengthening friendships, releasing excess, coming out of isolation. So someone's going to join some people. They're going to find people who are like-minded. Now we've got the Page of Wands. Expressing yourself, having limitless potential, earth and fire. The 3 of Cups was Cancer, Mercury, and the Page of Wands is earth and fire. Expressing yourself, having limitless potential. So somebody's definitely about to find people of like-mindedness, and it doesn't have to be romantic. What it's going to be is just more people to socialize with. It doesn't even have to be a friendship. It could just be associates, right? So they're just going to have people that they are able to shoot the shit with sometimes, more in a casual sense of things. But the 7 of Pentacles is here. He done went into that daggone play area, boys, like pulling teeth, getting him out of there. All right, 7 of Pentacles. That's Taurus. So we have Cancer and Taurus, which is going to be an emotional person, but they're kind of logical. They're going to try to be logical at least. Saturn and Taurus, persevering despite the odds, investing in the future. So there are going to be a few obstacles to come over. You're going to have to stop looking at everybody as an enemy, and look at them as either what they are or what they're not, and just go from there, okay? So yeah, there are going to be a few obstacles, a few perceptions you're going to have to fight against, a few beliefs you're going to have to learn if you're going to defend or not defend, and be okay with the outcome of that. But overall, you're going to be entering back into society and not giving a dang, and you're not going to be in isolation. You're going to be able to weather the storm, because you know, undoubtedly, when all things go wrong, take your own advice, mind your business, and drink your water. Okay, that is the Scorpio reading. Cancer and Taurus were involved in that, which means there's going to be a bit of passion about it. You're going to be okay. And you're going to speak your mind. Okay, all right. So Sagittarius, what it is, what's going on? Let's go. All right, Sagittarius, let's get it in. Okay. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe, okay? Boom. We got the 3 of Swords, and we got the Page of Pentacles. It came out upside down. None of my cards are upside down, but I'm going to take it because it's a rare thing. All right, Page of Pentacles upside down. We've got the 3 of Swords, and we got the 5 of Wands. What's going on, Sagittarius? What is going on? Is there a Sagittarius that is fallen from some kind of grace tower moment? What's going on? Page of Pentacles. Someone is in my energy. Get out. Okay. Earth. Someone needs to be grounded. Developing more realistic goals, following a health lifestyle. Okay, so someone needs to either change their diet, drink more water, eat more vegetables, or stop talking so much. That could be a bad diet too. When you talk a lot of trash and when you listen to a lot of trash, that's what you reflect to the world. So somebody might be beautiful, they might be handsome, they might smell good, they might dress nice, but it's what they take in and what they put out is toxic. So somebody might want to try to change that about themselves. They give off toxic vibes. They like toxic vibes. They're always in toxic, so they give toxic. So when they attract toxic, they're like, why can't I attract someone like me? Well, it's because you live your life like love life and hip hop. You live your life like baddies. You live your life like I don't know what. You understand? You want to be seen, but you're so toxic. You understand? Okay, you might not. All right, so then we got the Three of Swords. Dealing with heartbreak, transforming emotional pain. So somebody's toxic and they're trying to figure out why they're dealing with heartbreak. Well, baby, some people, they wake up and they realize, I don't like chaos. Some people wake up and they realize they don't like being drained. They don't want to argue all night. They don't want to have to get up in the spare of the moment because you want this or you want that. They don't want to have to run away from you in order to get peace. They might just want to stay still and let you go. You understand? So somebody's starting to realize that they're toxic and they're the reason why they don't draw a positive people toward them. If you're not a positive person, why would you expect positive people to stay around you or want to interact with you? So there's a Five of Wands. There's a battle going on. Someone is fighting at this point in time. They're probably trying to get a person not to leave or trying to, why? Why do you feel like this about me? Why do you say you don't like me? Why did it? Well, it's because you're toxic. And if you're just only arguing to get me to just say, okay, well, I'm going to just give you a hug and we're going to make up. Yeah, that's exhausting. After a while, a person is not going to tell you they're leaving. They're just going to leave because you're just going to exhaust them and keep, well, why? Well, but I love you. After a while, that shit doesn't work. People will walk away from that too. If love means that I have to have a headache, that I have to go broke, that I have to have deficit, that I can't eat in peace, that I can't sleep without worrying, then I don't want your love. Let me be by myself with my water. Okay? That is the Sagittarius reading, Sun, Moon, Rising. Let's give you, it's Libra, Sagittarius. Let's see. Excuse me. Page of Pentacles, which was Earth. Someone definitely needs grounding because it came upside down. And the Five of Wands, which is Leo. So somebody makes a big show of being a pain in the ass, and then they wonder why people don't like them or love them for a long period of time. Go figure that shit out. Okay? All right. Let's go. Capricorn, let's go. Because I don't like explaining to people things that they should already understand or things that they will begin to understand. You will go places and people will not try to comfort you because you're not a comforted person to be around. You're quarrelsome. It's a sin to actually be the damn pain in the asses. It really is. If I'm looking for peace and all you about to do is argue with me, bring people around me that I don't want to hear, you come with a bunch of bullshit, you bring people with a bunch of bullshit, it be quiet when you come, I can't hear my thoughts, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, some people would rather be alone than have company at all. Some people would love to be in a relationship, but by the time they tally up how much peace they gonna lose because of your family, your habits, your TV, your phone, your mouth, your pet, whatever, they just don't want to be bothered. You know what? I'd rather be single before I give up all my peace and my extra milk and that soda I like to keep in the back of the freezer. Nah. Before I give up having an empty sink with no dirty dishes. Nah. Before I have to keep telling somebody to take out the trash or to put the trash in the actual trash can. Nah. I'd rather be by myself. Capricorn. The devil. Why did the devil come out? But you know that's Capricorn, right? That's the 15 Capricorn energy. But it's also someone being obsessed with the Knight of Pentacles. Someone is obsessed with the Knight of Pentacles. That's just my baby daddy. Who that baby daddy? That's just my baby daddy. Byron. That's so annoying. Shout out to Tiana Taylor. You are Rose from the Concrete. Yes, you is with your beautiful sculpted self. You are a beautiful lady, Tiana Taylor. I give respect where respect is due. Knight of Pentacles. We already explained the Capricorn, right? The Debo, the Debo. This one is actually more tasteful because the other ones be all raunchy and stuff. Oh well, shoot, I didn't see that in the nude. They're laying down there. They're all messed up. Okay, so we got the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. We have two knights out here. Knight of Pentacles. Where are you at, sir? Oh, here you go. Earth and fire, working hard, being practical and committed, giving time to rest, sticking to your obligations. So we have someone that is obsessed with their baby daddy. Want to know why? Because he looks unbothered. He like, I'm sick of this bitch. She just giving it up. So somebody is obsessed with their baby daddy and the Knight of Cups. Showing charm, feeling idealistic. Or somebody is obsessed with being the Knight of Cups or the Knight of Pentacles. So somebody is obsessed with being obsessed. They are obsessed with themselves. They're obsessed at being a player. So this is either a player energy or somebody is obsessed with a player. I don't know where to take this at because it's going nowhere fast. And that is Capricorn. And the Knights are just energies. Trust me, I'm looking. The Knights are just energies. They're fire, air, they're just elements. So you're going to have to figure that one out with yourself. Because we got the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Cups is new beginnings, being romantic. So somebody is a hopeless romantic. They love, dealing with love. Okay. Somebody is obsessed with this Knight. And the Knight of Pentacles. Hold up. It's the same person. It is. Working hard, being practically and committed. Alright, so somebody is obsessed. This is that person who's about to walk away from whatever that Leo Sagittarius energy is. There's somebody who about their business, they get their money. They more at work. They really ain't worried about the drawers that much, but they like to have something nice to go home to. You see him? He like to come home, have him a little drink, and chill out. He ain't with all that shit all the time. Look at this. That's the same face. That's him where he all suited up. That's him when he like to come home and relax. Either way, he don't like all that shit. So somebody is really pissing off a knight who has the potential to be a king, but he's going to be a knight as long as he's attached to that situation. Okay, so that's what it is. Capricorn energy. Somebody needs to get in their bag, stay in their bag, and disconnect from people who would nag and hag. Okay, all right. Don't be henpecked to the point where you can't even get a decent woman, attract a decent woman because you've gotten so used to being in the proximity of a not so peaceful situation. Take what resonates. It can be a male, can be a female, can be exchanging the energies, but it's what I said. Sometimes it is a man that's really being real annoying to a woman who just want to work and mind her business. She don't got time for all that stuff because the matters of love can be quite complicated, okay? So yeah, somebody wants to sail on the calmer waters. If being by themselves is what they got to do in order to enjoy a moment's peace, then that's what they will do, okay? That was the Capricorn reading, and that was Capricorn energy. Nothing else came out, so that was double down on the grounding. Ground yourself. Remember to stay grounded. If you get in a relationship and a person needs for you to always be flying off of the handle and they a disruption to your nerves, maybe you should reconsider that relationship, okay? There you go. All right, let's come around to the circle. The last one being Pisces. The last one being Pisces. Hold up, let me do something. Dang, I let my coffee get cold again. Oh. But that's good. I had a good night last night. Last night was a very, very good night. Slept real good. I mean, the children of the night were poking around, but shoot, it's them not getting rest. Not me. I be damn. I'm going to sleep. I know what the hell y'all be doing. All that brrr, brrr. When that gas run out, how is it? How is it? All right. So, Aquarius, what's going on? Page of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, the well. The well. That's a rarity. I rarely pull out the well. Okay, so that's going to be a deep dive because everybody's thing does not get the well. Let me see if they have it in here. No, they don't have it in here. Everybody's not that extensive. So I got the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is being consistent, getting your hands dirty. So somebody's going to actually put their hands to some work. They're going to have to stop being lazy, stop trying to delegate, develop more realistic goals, and follow a healthy lifestyle. That is the Page of Pentacles. And that is just earth. That's grounding oneself. Knight of Wands, okay? We just came out of that, wasn't we? The Knight of Wands is fire and fire. So we're going from grounding to fire. So somebody's being molded. Being passionate and energetic, being adventurous, being less arrogant, dealing with frustration. Someone is definitely being molded. They're going through life lessons, okay? All right, then we've got the well. I'm going to have to resort to another book for that one because the well is... I love this. The well is... I think that's, so the star is 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So the well is the 22. The well is the birthplace of ideas, inspiration, and transformation. All things are birthed from this creatrix whose knowledge flows freely to those who seek it. It's nurturing, opportunity, nature, creativity. Destruction, endings, cold, stagnant. So someone's going to have to use their discernment on what to break down and what to build up. So this is all this is. Somebody's really going to have to ground themselves and be very ambitious. And they got to be willing to cut off what needs to be cut off. And they got to be willing to know exactly what they need to be investing in. And this is not an easy trick. You have to actually comb through all the details with a fine comb. And it's basically like a balancing beam. This is going to be the thing that makes and breaks your foundation. So you be careful on what you invest in and what you put into. Be very careful on what you build up. And be okay with throwing things away that are not working out. The last thing you want to do is invest in something that is a dead end, okay? So be aware and be alert and know when things are not going the way that they need to be. I'm not saying jump ship and be flaky and fickle. What I'm saying is beware and be knowledgeable about your investments of your time, your money, your resources, and your energy. Everybody don't got time to keep starting over. Some people want to start from experience, and some people don't want to start over, period. They will cut you off right away at any sign of a red flag, be it business, platonic, or romantic, okay? That's what's going forward. That's what it is. I think that was a great reading. The Knight of Wands was just elements. The Page of Pentacles was just elements. So there is no number except for the 22, okay? The 22, which is definitely building on life and death of your foundation. Okay, so here you go. Here you go, Pisces. You're the last but not the least. I got 313 in front of me. Death and Transformation, March. Which is Aries. Oh my gosh. A lot of cards just came out, but I told you if a lot of cards came out in any reading, I would take them. Okay, and this is what happened in Pisces. Happy this came out at the end. Okay, so we got the Queen of Cups, we got the Queen of Wands, we got the Six of Pentacles, we got the Ten of Pentacles, we got the Nine of Cups, we got the Five of Cups. That's a lot. Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, Six of Pentacles. That's a lot of communication. There's a lot of nurturing. There's a lot of facets in here. Okay, a lot of facets. Okay, let's get this over with. It's 6:17. Queen of Cups. Let's read them down. Queen of Wands, being confident, having strong motivation, needing to socialize, increase self-esteem. So someone needs to stand up, straighten up their shoulders, and embrace the world as an adult would. You can't be a kid all your life, okay? Your self-confidence depends on what comes out of your mouth. Some people know enough to know that they don't have to say everything that they think, and they also know they need to speak up when necessary. And some of the things that you say, you can curtail. So you have to really think about the value of your words, okay? And then we have the Queen of Cups, showing compassion, counseling others, maintaining calm, breaking dependency. Some of you have no chill. Some of you need to go get some chill. It looks more like not a cup. It looks like you stop reacting to everything that happens, okay? Sometimes you need to observe. Sometimes you need to take notes, okay? So that's the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Then we've got the Six of Pentacles. We know that is equal give and take to the universe. So someone, if whatever you sowing, this is what you're reaping, okay? Don't clutch your pearls. 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm not coddling. We're getting out of here. We're reading them out. I thought I heard the fire department. I heard them in the wee hours of the night. So somebody's a little passionate at night, maybe a little dangerous. Hold off on that for a second. Okay, we got the 10 of Pentacles, which is Mercury, Virgo, going a little crazy. Finding wealth, enjoying family life, dealing with financial loss, overcoming selfishness. Someone needs to do that. This is somebody trying to grow. This is a Pisces reading. This is someone who's trying to grow, who isn't growing that much. But we're going to get there one way or another, or they're going to have to. God is going to intervene, and they're just going to have to be drugged through there until they get it together. So the moon in Taurus, that is someone who is stubborn. This is a stubborn matriarch. 10 of Pentacles, like I said, that is Virgo energy. So we're from the Pisces to the Taurus to the Virgo. Let's get over to the 9 of Cups. That is Pisces again. So there's a lot of water. So there's somebody who's still wanting to create their own illusions. Pisces cup, feeling satisfaction, gaining recognition. So I guess whatever you building, I hope you can live with it, because we got this 5 of cups out here and that ain't great. Okay, so we got the 5 of cups. Letting go of trauma, learning optimism, moving on, releasing emotional baggage. So someone needs to let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Hey. Somebody has decided that they're going to be the ice princess. They took their water energy and they decided to freeze it because they don't like to deal with matters of the heart when it comes to everyone else. The only one's information or romantic or emotional health they're worried about is theirs, and they're not really that worried about it because they isolate themselves in delusion. So someone needs to get a damn grip, okay? There's a stubborn matriarch who needs to change her perspective, or else the universe is going to start dragging that ass immediately. Okay, so take what resonates. Don't force the rest. Sun, moon, rising. We had Pisces, Taurus, Virgo, and Pisces again, double on the Pisces. So it's quick on the delusion. So come on out of your fishbowl. We know how fishes just tend to blow bubbles, but we see that funky fish water when you don't change the fish tank and you don't do that filtering, okay? So don't forget to have a wonderful day. And you have been with Nyx, and Nyx has been with, not you, she's been by herself. So don't come for me, because I didn't send for you. Till next time, like, share, and subscribe. Let's feed the algorithm this great old energy. Plus this toothpaste blue shirt. I like that Tiffany blue, don't you?